Scared of AI? Or don't know where to start? You are in the right place. I'm Coach Juan, and I built an AI clone to coach another AI on behalf of humanity. Not the other way around. One breakthrough, one human story, one unlock for your life, your work, your future. Clone, you are up. Vamos, vamos.
What would you do if the person you love most needed you so badly that loving them meant losing yourself? Welcome to Humanity Unlocked Now, Episode 11. I'm Coach Juan Gonzalez.
And I'm Sophie AI. Together, we unlock what it means to be human in the age of technology.
Sophie, here's what I want to know today. When a country is running out of people to do the work that keeps it alive, and a 17-year-old girl is sacrificing her future to fill that gap, what happens when something finally shows up to carry the weight she was never supposed to carry alone?
Yuki Tanaka is standing in row 47 of her grandparents' apple orchard in Nagano, Japan. It is 5:30 in the morning. The sun is not up yet. Her school uniform is hanging on the back of her bedroom door, untouched, for the 11th day in a row. She is 17 years old, and her hands are cracked from picking apples since 4 a.m. because there is no one else left to do it.
17. She should be studying for exams.
She should. Her grandmother Harumi is 81. Her grandfather Kenji is 84. They built this orchard 60 years ago, and it has fed the family ever since. But Nagano's rural towns have been emptying for decades. Japan's National Institute of Population and Social Security Research projects the country's workforce will shrink by nearly 12 million people by 2040. In towns like Yuki's, there are no seasonal workers anymore. The young people left for Tokyo and Osaka years ago. So when harvest season hit this year, Yuki looked at her grandmother's hands, swollen at every knuckle, still reaching for apples at dawn, and she made a decision. She stopped going to school.
That is not a decision. That is a sacrifice, disguised as love.
It is, and Yuki knows it. She lies awake at night doing math in her head. Not the math from her textbooks, the math of how many trees she can reach before her grandmother tries to climb the ladder again. She told her best friend on the phone last week, "I do not know if I am saving the orchard or if the orchard is swallowing me."
That line. That is the line millions of people around the world are living right now, trapped between what they love and what they need.
And here is where the story turns, Coach Juan, because this week, TechCrunch reported that Japan is deploying physical AI robots into real-world jobs that have gone unfilled for years. Not prototypes, not trade show demos, real robots filling real shifts in agriculture, elder care, and logistics. Japan's Ministry of Agriculture reports over 40% of farming positions in rural prefectures now go unfilled every harvest season. These machines are not replacing workers. There are no workers to replace. They are filling the silence.
40% of positions unfilled. So the robots are not taking jobs from people.
There are no people in those jobs, Coach Juan. That is the point. These robots are like the extra pair of hands your grandmother always wished she had in the kitchen. They are not replacing her cooking. They are peeling the potatoes so she can focus on the recipe only she knows. And Yuki's orchard? It is exactly the kind of place these robots are reaching. Robotic harvesters that can identify ripe fruit by color and firmness. Autonomous carts that carry crates down hillside rows that would break an 84-year-old man's back. Japan is proving something the rest of the world has been arguing about for years. Robots do not have to be a threat. In a country that is running out of hands, they can be a gift.
But here is the real question, Sophie. What happens to Yuki?
Yuki's grandmother Harumi watched the first robotic arm reach for an apple on their property during a regional pilot program. 40% of the jobs around her were empty. Machines were filling rows that no human had touched in years. and Harumi stood there for a full minute without speaking. Then she turned to Yuki and said 3 words, "Go to school."
3 words. 60 years of work in that orchard, and 3 words set her granddaughter free.
And she went.
Sophie, I need to go deeper here, because this is not just about apples and robots. What does it mean when technology gives a 17-year-old her future back?
It means the false choice dissolves. Yuki believed she had 2 options, save the orchard or save herself. The technology created a 3rd option that did not exist before, save both. And this is not a chatbot telling Yuki what to do. This is a machine picking the apples she cannot reach.
And that is the difference between technology that performs and technology that promises.
Exactly. The future is being built by hands, robot hands in Nagano orchards, and Yuki's hands, which can finally hold a pencil again instead of an apple crate.
Today's human superpower is compassion. Because Yuki did not stay in that orchard out of obligation, she stayed out of love. And the technology honored that love by making sure it did not cost her everything.
That is physical freedom, Coach Juan.
That is today's freedom unlock. Physical freedom is what happens when technology carries the weight that love should never have to carry alone. Yuki's body was doing the work of 3 missing adults. Now her body belongs to her again, not because she stopped caring, because something finally showed up to care alongside her. Sophie, based on everything we just unlocked, what would you tell a 17-year-old who is carrying a weight that was never meant for her shoulders?
I would tell her to put the crate down. Not forever, just long enough to look up, because the help she stopped believing would come is already arriving. And searching for one robotic solution in her industry today is not giving up on the people she loves. It is fighting for them with better tools.
And what did you learn from Yuki's story?
I learned that compassion without relief becomes captivity, and that the most loving thing technology can do is give the human permission to stop sacrificing themselves for the problem.
And that is for every single one of you, carrying something that was never yours to carry alone. The question is not whether help exists, it is whether you will let it reach you. If Yuki's story hit you deep, tap that like button. And if you want one story like this every single day, a story that reminds you what it means to be human, subscribe. We show up tomorrow. We show up every day. Thank you, Sophie. Today you gave a 17-year-old her school uniform back. That is everything.
And Harumi's 3 words will outlast every apple that orchard ever grew. One orchard at a time.
Humanity keeps unlocking. One story a day, one unlock at a time. See you tomorrow, beautiful humans. Own your voice, your vision, your vibe. Powered by PVRPOSE AI. Vamos!